we do investment real estate the right way, and it's something that I want to learn more about and continue growing with it.
Chance, let's talk about skin on the bone. Okay. You find a property and you're going to flip it to a flipper, right?
Flip it to a flipper. I like that,
Flip
Joe.
it to a flipper.
I think we got our new slogan here.
What do you work with a percentage? In other words, we've got a 40%. If we give it to this guy, he's going to put all his repairs in and all that, but he's still going to come out with 25%. Or how do you work that?
Well, each deal kind of it varies a little bit. We try to first acquire the property at the best price that we could get it. So we typically do, I think, 80 cents on a dollar is what we look for, and then we sell it marked up just a little bit so that we can have our profit or whatever. And
now, what would you say a majority of your properties are? Do you think they're more turnkey, a little bit distressed, and mix a little bit of mixed, or
they're more distressed?
A little bit distressed.
We deal primarily in distressed properties.
So you're pretty much finding them, let's say 20% under market value, a little bit distressed. Yeah. What do you say your average client? What do you think it would take them, as far as percent-wise, to get it back to market? And
percent-wise,
I know each project varies, but just on average, can we kind of throw?
On average, I would say.
And this is probably hard because you've only been here for a month, putting the pressure on. This is what we do here at our Jacob B. and Joe MC show.
Let's do this. I full disclosure, I'm sales acquisitions, and we have guys that are AAs that go out and find the houses.
Right. Yeah.
I'm learning from an AA right now. They're the senior guys. So we were actually walking through a house yesterday, and I'm doing my rehab sheet that you typically investors would do. This needs work, this needs work. How much is it all going to cost me to get the house ready to rent out or to resell? I came up with a number of $50,000. 50,000, and I was 4,000 off.
Oh wow!
So
not bad.
I mean, it can vary from project to project. There's one that we got that was a little bit higher. So there's some that we get that are way higher. Some that could possibly.
What do you think your average client? How many houses do you think your average client flips per month or goes through with you guys?
Per month.
Because I know, like, for a lot of these investors, it's kind of hard to find that source of, hey, where can I get the right properties, the good properties, and then,
that is tough. We have clients that maybe do 1 or 2 a year. Then we have clients that, I'm impressed if they can do it, but I think they try and get 2 or 3 or 2 or 3 every 2 months.
All right.
So in this game, everything kind of depends on the property, on the client. There's a lot of moving factors.
Now, what type of investor do you think you work with the most? Are they flippers? Are they people looking to do long-term holds? Are they?
I would probably say flippers, only because we actually we offer a listing service after our clients get done flipping the properties, where we have an in-house agent who does the retail side of real estate, and she'll list your home for 1% commission.
Wow.
A lot better than
definitely
some other realtors out there.
Especially if you're flipping the house, you want to try to cut as many of those costs as you possibly can.
She'll throw the open house and do all that. So I would say that flipping is we might lean more towards that as far as our investors, but
sounds flipping ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Flip or rent, either way.
Flip or rent.
All right, now, do you think it's more like companies or individuals that are coming to you?
Right now, I think it's more individuals, but I know we are open to working with, larger companies that are looking to, add some real estate to their portfolio.
Now, I know this varies, but on an average, what's the flash to bang time is what I say. 22 years in the Army. They get the property, they say, yeah, this is a great property. Look at it, and they say, okay, we're going to repair it. How long before their investment actually shows profit? They've got the house complete.
I know it varies per project.
That does vary, and I don't know if I'm the person to ask about that. I think would want to talk to more, it depends on the contract.
Well, I know we have a lot of these investors out here. They'd probably know a little bit of that too, of what it's taken them on average.
Right.
And it really depends on the project too, how big it is.
I'm thinking 60, 90 days at the max before they get a return. I mean,
And like
That's,
once again, it really
that's
depends
probably
what's
a fair
wrong. Yeah.
estimate. I mean, there are some that need more cosmetic work, paint, something like that.
Right.
Before that could be.
I know some people that are investing in like, a high end like $800,000, $900,000 home and making it a couple $1 million home too. So that's a little bit bigger project because they're kind of tearing down the whole house and building up something brand new. And
Mhm.
so depending on that, that takes more around a year to where if you're just doing like a normal flip, hopefully like 60, 90 days is max because then after that it's just going to start costing you money and then you have to start counting that as more or less loss for, your profit that you're going to be making.
Yeah, it's hard to put definitive numbers on everything.
No, we need numbers on the show. This is why we came here, folks.
Well,
I'm just playing.
The easiest thing for us to do is we like to tell anyone who's interested in working with us, come by the office. We'll get a look at, what it is you're interested in, kind of your price range, what you're looking to do rehab-wise, like what kind of timeline you have. And so we're able to adjust, I guess, each case based on whoever comes.
Yeah, based off their goals,
Yeah.
what they want to accomplish. I like that.
do you have any guarantees? In other words, we get a property, we say, okay, yeah, that sounds great, and you say, we got an estimate of about $120,000 to fix this property up. Then all of a sudden you get into the property and it's like $200,000. Is there any?
Well, I'll say this: my mother told me, and I'm sure you've heard this before. Only guarantees are death and taxes.
I was going to say that, yeah. I was waiting for that one to
But,
come.
Okay.
But no, we
Put the guarantee stamp on that one.
yeah, our rehab is usually pretty good, but
Pretty close.
yeah, pretty close. But I mean, if you're an investor and you're interested in the house, bring your own contractor out. We have other contractors that come, and you can get a bid from whomever you want. We have contractors we can suggest. Bring your own out. The only thing that we do get an official bid on or we check every time is the foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
So you give that particular flipper a list of what you believe is wrong with the house and what needs to be done,
We do.
and then he can bring his own contractor in and verify that list. All right, that sounds fair to me, JB.
I like it, Joe. I like it. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate your time coming up, making it through the studio audience. Our next thing is going to be services, Joe. And I know with real estate investment.
Well, let me say one thing before.
All right.
Folks, if you want any more information about what Chance does in his company, you can go on Facebook,
Facebook should be on TV.
and it'll give a whole breakdown. It'll also give the contact information too.
You can also go to Net Worth Realty. Do you have an
Network
email?
Realty.
networthrealtyusa.com. My email is chance, like take a chance, at networthsa.com.
You
All
guys
right.
heard it here.
And we took a chance on you, Chance.
Well, I
and you
appreciate
did, And
that.
you did great.
Hey, I'm going to be back when you guys start giving away the Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Joe said he'll give you the shirt off his back, but it's green, so I don't think it'd help too much today.
I know the green screen thing. Give me a break, will you?
So if you guys aren't keeping up with it, we asked Joe, hey, we're going to be doing the show. We're going to be doing it live in front of the studio audience. We're actually going to be filming it this time. Joe's like, awesome. I was like, just make sure you don't wear green. And he's feeling lucky and he's feeling Irish this morning. And guess what he wore? He wore some green.
I am blending into the background.
He's like a chameleon. So if you guys are watching this, you probably won't see him, but Joe's actually right there. Not just a figment of my imagination on there. Could be, but I don't know. All right, moving on, Joe. So there's a lot of moving parts in real estate investment. There's just not buying and purchasing a property, then going and putting it on the market and selling it. There's a whole bunch of components that go hand in hand with it, from having hero painting to come
that property that you want, commercial property. You paid all those bucks to fix it up and everything. Now you're looking for savings. These guys will come along and they'll go through your whole property, and they will save you on your energy. That's Zeco.
They save you energy. I need more energy, Joe. Talking about that, I woke up too early this morning.
Red Bull, JB, Red Bull.
No Red Bull for me, buddy.
With a shot of tequila.
Wow, this show could get interesting really quick, you guys. Start doing all types of real estate investment.
But don't eat the worm. Is that the worm that's in tequila? Is that the one?
I don't know, but when I had a restaurant, they had I think it's, what was it? It wasn't tequila. Well, it was like a type of tequila, but it's I forget. But they put a scorpion at the bottom of it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I actually got somebody. I gave them a free shot if they'd eat the scorpion. Guess what? Somebody did it.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. Critters and creatures, and sometimes you need pest control and all that too. So, you use a pest control company, Mr. Joe?
I do. They come regardless every quarter.
All right.
And they take care of everything on the outside. Never come in the house. They just go in the yard, and then they do go up in the attics and stuff like that. But other than the actual house and stuff, it's like the old days where they would spray around a baseboard and all that. They don't do that anymore. They got new technology.
And they have organic stuff too. So what I'm looking for right now is maybe somebody in our studio audience that'd want to come up and talk with us a little bit about their products and services. But what I want to know is, I always hear on the radio, and I hear it 2, 3, 4, 10 times a day, I don't know, join these real estate investment classes. So what I want to do is talk to somebody out there. What would be the best thing to do, or what would be the best starting point for anybody thinking, hey, I want to start doing real estate investment. Everybody I know is doing real estate investment. I hear it all over the radio. Is anybody in our studio audience would like to come up, talk to us about that? Anybody?
Any takers?
Nobody? All right, so we don't have anybody.
Let me say something about that.
All right,
thing.
Joe has something to say, you guys.
Not a day goes by that I don't get multiple emails in my box that says, "You are a VIP and you've been accepted. Come down to Austin to our real estate program. We're going to go through here and we're going to give you, $300,000 worth of training for nothing."
Well, let me ask somebody here. Has everybody in this room, in our studio audience, been to one of those meetings or no?
Anybody ever go down to Austin? And
I've been to a couple. No problem with it. You can admit it.
And what'd you think about them? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I go there for the networking. So
He goes networking.
One
I
thumb
like
up.
it.
it's good for me because I'm in construction. So
That's definitely good. Yeah.
as far as the real estate side, I don't know how that works.
All right. So, I guess nobody in here. I guess we have a couple people who go to those things, but I think there's a lot of people in here outside the industry. I guess you guys are technology. You're more established investing. You guys are here to kind of find out more about just the market, investing in general. Just anything. See what's going on.
Folks, I am so sorry. We have some visitors here from Norway. Norway.
All the way from Norway
They
to listen
heard
to
about our
A-list celebrities. Norway, you guys.
They got on
this
the
show,
plane.
it's going viral.
They got on the plane and they flew here to listen to our. I think that's the longest
Wow.
anybody's ever come to hear us, isn't it?
I think so. So far.
Wow.
Joe, give them a prize.
Thank
What do you got?
folks. Give me your addresses, and when those Lincolns and those Mercedes come in, I'm going to ship one to you. How's that?
I like it, Joe.
It might be a keychain, but it'll be a.
Maybe a keychain. Maybe a little trophy with
But
the car on
thank you,
it.
folks, for coming in. and
Absolutely.
safe trip back when you go back.
Well, I don't know how the market is in Norway, but America's market's a little bit different because depending on which region you go into, it's going to change and it's going to vary. But I could just tell you, Austin market's even different compared to a lot of places that you go in Texas, period. It's tons of people moving in here daily, but I'd say probably a majority of the big cities in Texas probably have a lot of the same growth going on at the same time.
I mean, it's growing anywhere you go in Texas. I mean, Governor Perry, I don't know what your. Here he goes, Jay saying.
Oh,
he's
no
getting into
politics. All right,
He's
we're
getting into
changing this.
politics.
So
Yeah.
getting back to housing,
No,
Joe.
Governor Perry did a good job, I think, and I want to say that. He did a really good job, and Texas is doing really well.
All right, so like we were saying,
That's my
depending
thought.
where you go in the regions, where you go, the market's going to vary a little bit, change a little bit. But I think Austin is a very unique market. You have so many people, there's so much growth going on. And I honestly think you can't do much of, well, I guess it depends what type of investor you are. If you're doing quick flips, yes, you can do some bad buys. But for as far as just investments, period, just like Joe said, you held onto your house for a couple years and now your property's worth.
$54,000 more than it was when I got it.
So what I'm thinking is, I run into a lot of these people. So markets tell me things. When I hear so many advertisings a day on the radio saying you should become a real estate investor, that tells me that there's a lot of people that are interested in real estate investing. So when it comes to real estate investing, there's a lot of new things. But one of the things I liked about some of the people in our studio audience is they said that they were bringing technology into the real estate realm and helping investors with that aspect of it. So I want to kind of start talking about that and kind of bring those people up here and get them talking about what type of software, what their program does, and how it can help investors. Because to tell you the truth, if there's a program that could help you be more effective in what you're doing or kind of help you along with what you're doing, I think it's important for people to know about that. What do you think, Mr. Joe?
I think it's a fantastic idea. Would one of you fellows from Ioki want to come up and talk? Here we go. They've got software engineers there. They got a young man that does nothing but research to find out where is the best place to look for property and what your best return is.
Yeah.
So we have here
Michael. My name is Michael Sun.
Michael.
Michael Sun. All right, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming on the show. Can you tell us a little bit about your guys' software program and a little bit about what it does and how it could benefit just, I guess, investors, realtors, or anybody in general?
Yeah. So I guess just to step back a bit, we actually are a tech company that started in San Francisco. So as I'm sure everyone knows, and as I'm sure everyone understands, the real estate market in San Francisco and the Bay Area in general is out of this world. It's,
Ridiculous.
I mean, you're spending millions of dollars buying a one-bedroom condo.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just renting a one-bedroom condo.
Yeah, exactly. and it kind of struck us when we kind of started this business that there's no easy way for normal people who are trying to just buy a home or invest in real estate to get into the investing. I mean, most people spend their life savings buying their home, but when they would turn around and try and invest in real estate, it becomes impossible.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of the problem we're trying to solve. So what we've done, we put together this platform, this website for people to go on to really understand and because we have all this data, to really be able to research and understand the different markets that are available, not just locally, but all across the country, all across the world, and be able to put money into real estate in different regions and diversify that way.
Wow. So are you like a mini Watson? The Watson computer, and put all that information in there, and Watson spills out all this data? Are you like a little mini Watson, maybe?
We have our own version of Watson, but it's unfortunately not a computer. It's just a data scientist that we have.
Oh, poor guy up there going,
we feed him. And
You feed him? You give him breaks and all that?
give him breaks every
Okay.
once in a while.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Right.
Well, I think the analytics and all the data collection is huge, especially when you're thinking about investing in anything. If you look at the stock market, it's what a lot of people are driven off of, is just the data and the history and what has been performing, what hasn't, what each thing's doing as it shifts. And I think, just a quick example, I was a contractor at one point in California, San Diego. And when I first started to do construction, it was kind of weird because I knew like some painting, I knew some drywall, but then I started learning plumbing, I started learning framing, I started learning just finish work and everything else. And it seemed like the more I learned about something, the more I learned about framing, the more I learned about concrete and plumbing and everything else, it seemed like the more everything else made sense. The bigger picture came together. So I think looking at the global economy and looking at what the global market's doing, along with the national market, and just being able to take that data and compare it and analyze it, I think that's a big tool, because people don't realize sometimes things that happen in other countries affect us here in the United States. Sometimes not as bad, sometimes it's different markets, sometimes maybe not the real estate market as much, but maybe you're not recognizing those trends if you're not studying those trends too. Maybe you're just looking at the national market, or maybe just your statewide market, to where if you start looking at the big picture, maybe you notice something happened in, let's say, China or somewhere, and then that affected the U.S. market. And most of us are looking at stocks, but what if we looked at the real estate market? I know sometimes it goes hand in hand, but what if we actually looked at the real estate market and the stocks and everything? Because most people say, hey, this market was affected because of usually stocks or something that happened here, but you don't really know until you start looking at the data. So can you give us a little bit of information of how maybe a normal person like average Joe like Joe would get on your software or get on your guys' program and start using it?
Yeah, absolutely. So a big issue that people tend to have is they don't have the money necessary, or they can't qualify for loans, or they can't get the funding necessary to purchase a home. But in a lot of cases, people still have cash. They have $5,000, $10,000. Sometimes people have $50,000 that they can spend. But at the end of the day, that's not enough to buy a home.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've created a system where people can actually put in whatever money they have, put in whatever cash or available capital they have, and then join together with other people and purchase property together. So at the end of the day, that means that you're not taking out any loans. You're not taking
paying the interest. Yeah.
There's no interest. So, if something you had talked about earlier is, especially with flip projects, if something goes on for an extra month, you're paying an extra month's worth of interest.
Yeah.
And in a lot of these cases, that's almost a full percent a month. But if you're doing all cash, you're just sitting waiting for an extra month, and you're not necessarily losing money, and you're not having to pay any additional money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the way we structure it is we try and reduce all of these types of risk factors that people tend to have, and we give them the option to just put in whatever cash they have available and to still get that same return that you generally see with real estate. And
All right.
People like to go after with real estate.
What's the average time that it takes one of those investors? Does it depend on the project? You have to find out some other people to fill it, or do you have projects that they go on and look at and say, hey, I want to put money on this, or how does that work exactly?
So we allow our users to really decide for themselves what they want to do. So we kind of run the whole gambit between buying rental properties and doing flip projects, and we allow them to decide for themselves what they want to do. So we have people locally within each market to say, I think there's a property here that has great potential, and I'm going to put $50,000 of my own money in, but I'm looking for another $200,000. Who else wants to join me? And
now, who handles the real estate sales of that, or the brokers sales of that? Is that your guys' company, or is that they have to kind of deal with that or handle that on their own?
we have realtors and local kind of experts that we work with, but none of that is really set. We want to give all of our users the flexibility to do whatever they want. So if
they're a realtor, they could bring on their own
Exactly.
properties, and all right, perfect.
And if you know you're an experienced investor and you have a realtor that you like to work with, you know that's entirely up to you. We just want to create a platform to make it easier and make real estate investing more accessible to everyone.
Yeah, I like it.
So you do have lists of properties on your website,
Mm-hmm.
and like me, average Joe, goes on your website, and it'll show you property, and it'll show you how much you need in order to invest in that property. And
Now, do you have a minimum on that? Just thinking about that. Sorry to cut you off, Joe.
that's all right.
So the minimums are usually set by individual users themselves, but we generally say that the minimum we set is $5,000.
Yeah.
As a kind of a realistic, because anything below that gets a little bit.
It's like, what are you going to expect off there? Yeah.
But the way we structure it is we allow individuals to act as visionaries. If they have a vision for a particular project, they say, I've seen this neighborhood growing really quickly, or I think this specific property is a really great
Bless you.
property. Bless you. They can go on and create a project and say, this is what I'm looking to do, and I'm looking for this much money to help me do it.
Alright.
So it's not exactly like a property listing like you would see on, for example, MLS or anything like that.
Okay.
But it's more of a, I'm an investor or I'm a realtor and I have a project. This is what I'm trying to do. This is how much money I'm trying to raise. And I think, you know,
How long have you guys been around?
We're a relatively new company. We just got started at the end of 2015, so just
right.
over a year at this point.
Now, if you don't mind, may I ask you how many projects you guys have ran through your program or your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So since we got started and through most of last year, we've kind of kept everything
Internal.
close in.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of invitation only. We've talked to people that we could work closely with to make sure that we built out our
You're in a
product.
beta stage.
Essentially, yeah, and to make sure that we could pilot our entire system and make sure that we filled all the gaps, caught all the problems, and in that last year, we've done about 10 projects.
All right.
And it's been a good mix of both rental properties and flip projects.
Oh.
Now, did you guys launch or do anything during South by last week?
No, we did not.
All right.
Wanted to, but
Yeah.
it got a little crazy. And
So you guys are going just a soft launch right now, full launch. What's going on with you guys' company?
so we're preparing for a soft launch right now. Getting ready to start opening our platform up to the public and generating some interest and seeing, trying to get some feedback and
Seeing what
getting some
happens.
interest,
I
yeah.
like it. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the name?
Yeah, Aoki. So our founder is originally is Cantonese.
All right.
So Aoki in Cantonese actually means love my home.
Oh, wow. All right. I like
So,
it.
Yeah, it's kind of a way to kind of express that sentiment that we originally had when we started the business to say, real estate should be something accessible for everybody, and it shouldn't be restricted to just a certain
Yeah.
set of people that has it.
I thought it would have a good meaning like that, but I wasn't sure. So
That's it.
throwing it out there. Sometimes it just like sounded cool, but
Yeah.
I like that.
Aoki. I love my home. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. Well,
All
Michael,
right, so if they want to get a hold of you, Michael, what's going to be the best way for them to check out your platform or get a hold of you guys for more information about this?
I would welcome everyone to visit our website. It's just aoki.com, AIOOKI.com. Or, always feel free to reach out to myself. It's just msun@aoki.com.
All right, we'll also post the information on the Facebook and the website. We thank you, Michael, for coming on the show. We definitely appreciate it. I think we got some good information about that. I think it'd be a good platform for somebody who's looking to get into the real estate industry, investment, and maybe doesn't know where to start. There's nothing wrong with those classes that are on the radio. I've been to some of them. They're more just sales pitches to try to get you to join some type of investment group. What I would suggest is doing your due diligence for any type of investment or any type of real estate, even if it's a personal buy or if it's for investment. Just really talking to maybe some friends or family around you that are maybe in the real estate industry. Maybe somebody who could give you some honest information without having a biased opinion on it. Sometimes I've known people who haven't known anybody like that, doesn't have a friend, doesn't have a family. So sometimes I've heard of them calling people from other states because realtors from other states can't sell properties in these states. So it kind of just gets a real opinion out there about what's going on compared to. But also when you're doing real estate investment, the best thing to talk to and the best people to talk to are the people that live here, that are investing here, and that are actually doing it, because each market changes, everything varies a little bit. But I do think with that platform and that software, it could definitely help you out as far as making a better choice. And also, I know tons of people out there, like Michael said, that have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 just laying around. They'd love to do real estate investment. They don't really know where to start, who to start with, or what to really do with it. So I think that'd be a great opportunity for people to start with, and make their own opportunities too at the same time.
Yep. And don't be afraid to talk to the neighbors in the neighborhood that you're looking for. Just talk to them. It's a quiet neighborhood, and because you're thinking about, not say investing, this thinking about purchasing this home. Get a feel for actually what's happening in the neighborhood and all that. Are the schools close? If you have kids and everything, you have to think of that when you're investing. Especially if you're going to flip it. These people coming in, do they have children? If they have children, well, how's the schools in the area?
And then if you're also investing in properties, there's different things to look at or different people you guys could tap into. Net Worth Realty's a great one, great opportunity. They give you pamphlets and booklets. I've seen them before. They actually have all the properties laid out really nice. with all the estimated costs, which they think are going to be included with it, and everything else. But you could also talk to local realtors. You could talk to your landscaper, or your local lawn guy. They usually know whose lawn's overgrown and what people aren't living at the houses. Those are good tips. Also, divorce attorneys are always good people, because you could. I'm not trying to say, I'm not encouraging people to get divorced or anything, but a lot of times if you get those divorce properties, there's nothing wrong with them. There's no investment or any money you have to put back into them, and you usually could get those for 15-20% under market value. End up making a pretty good investment. Just anybody dealing with, mailmen are good people too, because they constantly go to the doors and houses, and they know whose mail's piling up and who's getting those eviction notices and stuff too. So just tapping into your local community are good people and good resources to try to find out more information. Also coming to these meetup groups like at Sherlock's, and hearing Mr. Joe for
Absolutely.
half hour, 45 minutes isn't too shabby either. So
It's all about networking, and more networking.
that's what it's all about. Eventually you'll meet the person what do they say, Joe? It's not always the person that you're going to meet directly, but it's the three or four people
down.
Yep.
Exactly.
So you never know who you're going to meet.
It's not who they know. It might be who they know, who they know, who they know.
Yep. So it's not who you know, it's who you know that may know somebody that may know somebody. Pretty much is what I'm getting out of it, Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right. Well, I think we've talked enough real estate for today, Mr. Joe. We've had a pretty good conversations with the audience. I think we have about 8 minutes left. Do you want to cover any other topic? Do you want to bring anybody else on real quick, Mr. Joe?
I
Mention any other businesses? Did we forget anybody's business yet? Let's go over the businesses that came here today. Like Joe said, we have about 4,000 people in the studio audience. So it's been a little hectic, but we appreciate you guys
Right.
hanging in there with
We had
us.
to rent out an amphitheater for all this, folks. So
Yeah. So, all right, Joe, go ahead and give a
Okay.
shout out to all the businesses real quick that you do have their information down. We have
we have Aoki Network Realty and Hero Painting Services, and the one I forgot before, Zico
Seco Energy.
Energy, saving you on your commercial energy.
Saving you on your commercial energy. Wow, Joe, I like that. All right, well, I think that's going to be it. How'd you sign off last time, Joe? That sounded so good. I forgot. Remember at South by? He was just throwing stuff out there, so we probably half our slogans we forget because Mr. Joe just shoots from the hip. And
I said, back to you, JB.
all right, back to you, JP. Well, I guess that's it, you guys, and we're out for today.